Good evening, I'm Paul. Welcome to Culinary Episodes. Tonight we're going to do creme brulee. So our first step, we're going to take our cream, add it to our pot. Okay, right to the stove. What we're going to do is we're going to scald that. It means just barely a simmer. When it gets to a simmer, turn the heat down, and we're going to just let it scald and stay like that so it may create steam for the next step. So here is the next step. We're going to take our sugar and egg yolks, combine them, and just start to whisk. And we're just going to get a nice yellow, pale yellow, thick custard out of this right here. And all you're looking to do is to get this nice and creamy like that, and so that there's no lumps of sugar in there. And then we'll go to our next step, which is tempering the cream. And that's all you're looking for, that nice dark yellow. Our next step in the creme brulee process is we're going to take our eggs and sugar and we're going to temper them. Now, as you can see here, we've got the cream scalded. There's barely a simmer on that, but you have steam coming out. So we're going to put the eggs and sugar over that, and we're just going to stir. And you want to keep it off there a little bit, and what this is going to do is it's going to get the eggs used to the heat, so that when we pour the cream into it, little by little, it doesn't cook the eggs. That's a no-no. That's exactly what we don't want to do. So we're going to do this for maybe 2 minutes, and then we're going to take the cream out and we're going to pour it into the sugar and the egg yolk mixture little by little. Okay, so we're back, and here we go. We got our egg yolks and sugar mixture right here, and they're starting to temper a little bit. You can see the froth building up around the edges. Now we're going to start to temper in our cream. Very little at a time. And what we're looking to do here is to not cook the eggs. So it's very little at a time. You got to get the eggs used to the temperature, and they gradually form a custard. It's become a nice shiny custard here, you'll see in a second. Okay, very little at a time to start. And just keep turning, keep whisking. And a little more. You want to keep the edges scraped there because that's where it's hot and the eggs get thin around the edges. They might cook. You want to keep that moving. All right, a little more cream. Okay, and we have here a teaspoon and a half of vanilla. Add that right to the cream. That's where a lot of our flavor is going to come from. Okay, and then just continue with the process. Okay, and then as the eggs get warmer, you can go a little faster. Okay, so we're ready for our next step, which is to fill our ramekins and bake our creme brulee. So here we go. Just take your custard. Fill your ramekins. Don't worry about the little splash. You can fill them pretty high, almost all the way to the top. That's fine. They're not going to puff up. And don't worry about the foam. It's going to bake off in the heat. Okay, it's actually not so difficult. It's pretty simple, especially if you do it once or twice. Okay, now we have here a 9x13 Pyrex. We're going to add some tap water, hot tap water, to this. Okay, and then we're going to add our creme brulee to this. Okay, That goes into a 325 degree oven for about 35 to 45 minutes, depending on your oven. Open the oven and take a look. If they're browning on some of them and not on the others, just turn them inside the oven. Okay, so here we go. And the reason we do that is because some ovens bake unevenly. So you'll see that if that's the case with your oven, you'll see some brown and some not. So then after that, we'll go to the next step. We got a couple of sliced strawberries, a pat of butter, some spiced rum, half a teaspoon of sugar, and some cornstarch and water, which we're going to make a slurry with. So the first step, we're going to take our butter into the pan and melt that. Just melt that up, and in goes our strawberries. Give that a little toss, get the butter flavor on there, and then we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of rum. Any kind of dark rum will do. We're going to add a little sugar, just a coat. Give them a little flip and turn the heat down to low. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to take some cornstarch and cold water, equal parts. Just make what we call a slurry. Okay, we stir that together. I'm going to take it right over and just add a little bit to our mixture and chill for 6 hours now. So it's nice and cold, ready to serve. So what we do is we take some sugar, plain table sugar, pour it right on, and you just shuffle it about like that, pour it right back in. I'm going to take our little torch, and that's that. I'm going to plate it. Take some of our strawberries. These are delicious with the rum and sugar. Plate that up like that. A little sprig of mint. Alright, just to finish the plating, take the rest of your strawberries, make a nice little pile like this with your delicious juices in there. Another little sprig of mint. And there you have it. It's creme brulee. It's not that difficult. Like I said earlier in the segment, you do it 1 or 2 times and it's pretty easy. All right, thanks again for joining us tonight on Culinary Episodes. Have a good night.